So if you're thinking about doing a podcast, I highly suggest you use Anchor, and here's why. Now, first things first, it's free, and you can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. I'm talking dollar bills, y'all. Plus, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you to the major platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a bunch of others, so that's one less thing you got to worry about. And they got all the tools you need to record and edit your podcast in one spot, and you can do all that from your phone or your computer, so in my opinion, it's really the easiest way to make a podcast. Now, if that's what you're looking for and you're ready to jump on it, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. What up, though? It's your girl, Tamara Dawn, and welcome to Tamara Till the Break of Dawn. Now, first things first, I want to thank y'all for hopping on my train of thought today, because you literally could be doing anything else right now, so I appreciate you tuning in. And before I get too far off into this intro, I definitely want to give a special shout out to my podcast fam. So make sure y'all actually check out them podcast suggestions in the episode note. Last but not least, I want to give a special shout out to Sniper T for this beat, and all his information can be found in the episode notes as well. So, now that we got all that out the way, let's get it. Y'all, like, it's so crazy. I'm about to be 40, y'all. Like, some of y'all, by the time you listen to this, I'll already be 40 because my birthday is June 27th, but I'm just, like, it's so crazy. And I've just really been just kind of reflecting on, like, okay, this is about to be a whole new decade. Like, I'm about to be 40. I'm leaving the 30s behind. So what do I want to leave in my 30s? You know what I mean? That's just kind of how I am. I've definitely cried, though, because it's just crazy. But one of the things I've really been thinking about, like, with the cultural climate the way it is, and people are more reflective right now and having conversations that need to be had, you know, racial tensions, discriminations, just all kinds of stuff. But I'm gonna kind of get into some stuff that I just kind of want to make y'all think. Like, I'm gonna celebrate stuff about me towards later in the episode, you know, what I feel like makes me dope. But, you know, I've just really been thinking about how people just accept stuff as it just is and they don't question it. And I'm just trying to bring some awareness to some stuff that, like, white people, you should be questioning. You know, if you follow me on Facebook, you see some of the posts I've been posting. If not, the link to the Facebook page is in the episode notes, so go ahead and go check out what I've been on. But it's like, I'm going to give you some practical things that I just think you may not even think about, the fact that black women have to think about this. And I think it's important that you understand that, for those of you who are wanting to understand just how it's not always these grand, you know, things. Sometimes it's these, what they say, microaggressions, where it's still an attack, but it's not like oh, you stupid black nigger bitch, or, you know, something like that, where it's all like, dang, that's obviously, you know, what it is. So I was looking online, and because I saw a tweet, either this was tweeted or it was on Facebook, but what I want you to do is I want you to Google professional hairstyles men and look at the pictures, and then look at unprofessional hairstyles men and do the same thing for women. And what you will notice is that for professional, for both men and women, the main page, what it just shows you is white men and white men and white women. There's no if you get to scrolling for a while, you'll see one. I didn't see on the women, but I didn't scroll like I did the men. So, but that's what you see. But then when you look up unprofessional hairstyles men, unprofessional hairstyles women, what do you see on the front page? People of color. And the crazy thing about it is, why is that the way it is? Like, think about that. Why is the hair that grows out of my scalp, that I was born with, that I didn't have any choice in how it was, what the grade was, any of that, why is that deemed as unprofessional? Just think about that. And if you think that that's right, then you need to question why you feel that way. Is it because it's not like yours? Well, it's not going to be. So, representation matters. I was, like I said, I think on a previous episode, and if not, here we go. My church, go to a predominantly white church, and the pastor had to, so our worship leader's a black man, well, one of the worship leaders, and then there's a pastor in the community that's a black man that is a pastor of a church, and he had them both on there, and they were talking questions about race and, you know, their experiences and stuff like that. And one of the things one of the guys said that's so key is when he goes to different buildings, like the state capitol or just anywhere, any establishment, he looks if they have pictures of like the leadership to see if there are people that look like him in, you know, places of leadership, because representation matters. And so that's just one example. It's something minor, because I want you to understand that it's not just always extreme things like police brutality and, you know, getting persecuted, you know, in this outwardly expressive way. I'm not saying it has to be like that. It's little stuff. It's stuff that's like whatever. But then also, on a flip side, there's the angry black woman versus Karen, because I feel like those are both two like not characteristics, like stereotypes that are specific to a black woman or a white woman. So I felt like that was about as equal as it gets. But here's the thing, because let's go to the information about, we'll start with Karen. And it's not my fault that, okay, Karen, here we go. So Karen, this is on Urban Dictionary, which, like I said, I posted stuff on my Facebook page, and this is one of the things I posted. So Karen is the stereotypical name associated with rude, obnoxious, and insufferable middle-aged white women. So it's definitely a white woman who has this name, this derogatory term or whatever, because people definitely get offended by it. It's based on how she behaves, but it is attributed to not just any white woman, but a middle-aged white woman. Okay, so that is Karen. Let's go to the angry black woman, which I got this off of Wikipedia. Now I'm going to read a little bit more into this, because you need to understand, I don't know, it goes deeper than Karen or whatever. Karen is a newer thing though too. So the angry black woman stereotype is a trope in American society that portrays African American women as sassy, ill-mannered, and ill-tempered by nature. Related concepts are the sapphire or sassy black woman. Scholars, blah blah blah. Gotta find. Okay. West defines the pervasive sapphire ABW image as a template for portraying almost all black women and as serving several purposes. He said he sees it as passion and righteous indignation, often misread as irrational anger, used to silence and shame black women who dare to challenge social inequalities, complain about their circumstances, or demand fair treatment. It's defined as a social control mechanism that is employed to punish black women who violate the societal norms that encourage them to be passive, servile, non-threatening, and unseen. It's called a double bind. So, obviously I had to read more of that one because it was way deeper than Karen. And see, that's the thing, because with that, it's attributed to all women, and it's not really based on how the woman is actually acting. It's something that you are saying is how she's acting to get her to not act in that way. And so that's why when I posted that meme, I've been posting stuff on my Facebook page, a little bit on Twitter too, but it said if you work with a black woman, it's likely she's censoring herself most of the day. Everything from her hair, attire, tone of voice, hand gestures, accent, etc. is being internally policed. Most of us don't get to be ourselves at work. And that's the thing, is that most likely you never really thought about that, because you probably have your judgments about the angry black woman if she speaks out. But the thing about it is, with Karen, it's only if she's being rude and obnoxious. Like, it's because of her behavior, because of her acting a certain way. The angry black woman is just something that as soon as you see a black woman, you initially think that's how it's going to be, or she's ghetto, or she's this or that. You know what I mean? Whereas most cases as white women, even, it's like you guys have this mindset of entitlement, and it's like you may not realize that it's privilege, but you know how to use it. And it's, I know my rights and this, that, and the other, and, question the police and do all these things. And the reality is that we all should have the right to do that. You know what I mean? But for whatever reason, we are viewed as more aggressive, and I don't understand that. You know what I mean? And so that's just, a couple of things of how, if you're not a black woman, you don't understand that that's what it has to do. And hair, that's a big thing. You know what I mean? It's like, there are white women who get their hair done. So imagine you can do what you want to do with your hair. Like, if you can't color it the way you color it, okay, that's fine. But who decided at what point that and I'm thinking back to like slave days, because our hair is coarse or curly or however you want to look at it by nature. And so then who said, no, your hair needs to be straighter, and somebody went along with it? And why did it need to be straighter when you saw how it was coming out of the scalp? You know what I mean? And then that's where they say it's systemic, because like I said, I think last episode or maybe the one before, it's a seed that's planted and then it grows And then it just seems to be like it's a part of what's going on, and so you don't question it. But that's why some people say, oh, it's not my job to educate, whatever. But I enjoy teaching, and if I can say something in a way where you can understand it and, think differently or whatever, then I've done my job. But it's like, why? This is stuff that should be questioned. You know what I mean? This is stuff that it shouldn't be that there's a different experience. And that's where people, like I said, when it's systemic, this goes on and it goes on, and then it just seems like this is just what it should be. And you don't question, why is it like that? You don't question why are different parts of town, wherever you live, it's probably similar, where different parts of town are have more poverty, and that's usually where more of the minorities are. Like, why is that? And you're privileged if you don't have to think about that. Like, it's a privilege if you get to choose to learn and listen and understand, and you don't have to just learn it because you have to live through it, and you can't ignore it and act like it's, not there. And so I'm trying to bring awareness, because I think that we need to find solutions and accept that this is really how it is, and not try to say that it's not how it is just because it's not your experience. That means you're just fortunate or privileged or whatever enough to not have to deal with it, but it doesn't mean it's not a real thing for other people. And the more you continue to deny it, the more we just stay divided when we could be looking for solutions. Hold on. So, oftentimes it is felt like this country was not created with values or rules that really were created to have people of color feel equal, you know what I mean? And that's an issue. And so then it's always interesting to me when people say things like black girl magic or black power or whatever, to try to uplift ourselves, because we're not oblivious to the way this country, goes, and how the wealth is not distributed, evenly throughout different areas in the cities or whatever. So it's like we see all this, so then when we try to do things to make ourselves feel better or encourage ourselves or whatever, then it's questioned like, oh, well, if we said white power, would that be okay? It's like, can stuff not be about y'all? Because a lot is about y'all, and a lot is for y'all, and a lot is created for the betterment of y'all. And I know that hurts, because you're probably somebody who's like, dang, I wouldn't ever, intentionally do that. And nobody is saying you did, but let's not pretend like it's not there. Not everything is just, oh, work hard and this, that, and the other. Yeah, that plays a part of it, but it's not just that. And we have to admit that that's a reality. You know what I mean? But, again, Black Girl Magic, let's get back to that. I posted that as well on my Facebook page. And the crazy thing about it is, Black people have been in the United States of America for years and years and years and years and years. And Black Girl Magic wasn't really popularized until 2013. That's only 7 years ago. That's crazy. And it's just a way, because I feel like just because we like, oh, Black Girl Magic or melanin poppin' or, whatever. I've said stuff like that on here, as a matter of fact. But it doesn't mean F everybody else. It's like self-confidence, trying to celebrate myself, and that should be okay. And And so basically that's just celebrating the beauty, power, and resilience of Black women. And it's like, it's a way to positively fight against the negative stereotypes and the negative stuff and the, you know, if you've ever said or looked at a Black woman's hair in its natural state and thought it was nappy, but why? In comparison to what and who? Because it's different grades of hair that are going to look different. So, you know, it's just, that's just what it is, and it sucks. But that's why, you know, I gotta celebrate myself. And it's like, the reality is that I love, and I know you've heard me say Black don't crack, and I love the fact that I'm about to be 40 and I don't look it. And we age well on my mom's side and my dad's side, so it just made it where I'm just like double portion blessed in that regard. So that's why I don't look 40, and I'm grateful for that, because I'm not going to say all white people age terribly, because I mean, I know some that don't, but I'm just going to say that it's a more reoccurring thing that Black people age, you know, that Black don't crack. That's just where that came from or whatever. So it's like, despite what we go through as Black people, that those are just a couple of examples. I could get into heavier stuff, but I decided not to, because this is my birthday episode. So I do want to, you know, celebrate myself. So let's switch lanes. So yeah, I'm about to be 40. You know, I'm in besides, you know, all the crazy stuff that's just going on collectively in the world, but like in my personal life, I'm in a like good spot. Like, we are getting more settled. More settled. Wait, hold on. So we're getting more settled in our new place, and then my van was down, and I actually ended up trading that in and got a small SUV, which is something I had wanted for a while. Like, I never wanted a van, and I wanted a SUV before, but things just worked out the way they did. But now I traded it in because the transmission went out, so that is my birthday present to myself. So that's good. I don't usually talk about material stuff that I get or whatever, but the only reason this like makes me happy, because material stuff just be material stuff, like it's relationships that make me happy, but the only reason this makes me happy is because it's something I've wanted for years, and so to finally, you know, get it, that's what makes me happy. Work is going well. You know, I'm adjusting to working from home. I'm accepting it and trying to focus on the good things about it, like no traffic, I could sleep later, stuff like that. So it is what it is, and yeah, that is basically where it's at. I'm hopeful for 40, you know what I mean? 30s was rough, so I'm hopeful 40s is gonna be the start of a different season, because my gosh, the 30s were hard. So yeah, that is what I got for y'all this week. I know these episodes have been shorter, but it is what it is. That's, you know me, I can only give you what I got. So I hope, as always, first of all, thank you for listening. I appreciate you. If you want to bless your girl, my Cash App be in the episode notes every week. My Cash App is in the episode notes. 40 is a big deal, you know. Let's see what else. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, night, week, you know, whenever you listening to this. Like I said, thank you for listening. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate the people that come through however you got here and then keep coming back. That really means a lot to me, that I could see that people are listening. That really does mean a lot. So that's all I got for y'all, and yeah, till next time. So first things first, shout out to Sniper T for this beat, and all his information can be found in the episode notes. Now, like I say on social media, I want y'all to interact with me, so here's a few ways you can do that, and the links and whatnot to all these methods are in the episode notes as well. Now, you can leave me a voicemail. Call 720-457-4022. You can email me. Hey, y'all can follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and I'll follow you back. And then you can go ahead and slide in the DMs, just not on no weird stuff. You can also like the Facebook page, and the link on there goes to my email as well. Now, what I need y'all to do is pay attention on my socials for when I ask for feedback for the Thoughts to Ponder episodes that air every other Monday, because the reality is that y'all feedback is what makes those episodes dope. So, leave me a voicemail, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or email me. Just holla at your girl.